In this video, we're going to go over some tips in regards to virtual assistants as well as office managers, anyone that's preparing quotes for Christmas lights. Okay, so this is a look at our CRM as to whenever we prepare a quote for Christmas lights, this is the information that is expected for you to collect and to record in our CRM. Okay, so in the process of preparing a quote, this is the information that's going to be disclosed, or very likely you're going to be privy to, you're going to be told. So you might as well track it in the CRM, because if we're taking the time to prepare a quote for someone, then we're going to track whatever applicable information, because that information is going to be applicable next time. You know, every future time we could potentially help that person. So let's collect it so that next time we can help them even easier. You know, we already know the information, for example. So first off, just like showcased in other videos, we're going to input their address. So you're going to put their street name, their city, their zip code, their state. Most commonly, you can input their street, and it's going to give you a pop-down or a drop-down that pre-fills this information. Just make sure to select the right street and the right city to make sure it does that correctly. Next, we're going to scroll through the rest of the information you're going to collect. Obviously, they're going to give you their name, their first name, and their last name. Almost always, they're going to give you their full first name, and sometimes they might just give you like the first letter of their last name. So make sure to input that, or if they give you their full last name, obviously input it here, their full first and their full last if possible. Hopefully they can give us a phone number. Ideally, we can verify that it's a number that we can text and they can receive texts. There's even a drop down for you to select mobile, or if they identify it's a home phone number or it's a work phone, you can categorize it as such. They're going to give you their email, very likely, because these are the ways that we're going to send the quotes to, is their phone number and their email. We're going to scroll through the rest of them. In the process of preparing the Christmas light quote, you're also going to offer to give gutter cleaning as an optional line item. So that means that you're going to be able to measure every single time you measure Christmas lights to prepare a Christmas light quote. There's a good chance you're going to be measuring the linear feet of gutters too, unless this information is already recorded here. But if we're recording it, if we're measuring it to prepare a quote for them, we might as well input that here. So a pretty normal amount, you're going to put the numerical amount. That's 150, in this example. That's a pretty normal amount. Some homes are going to be less, some homes are going to be more, but that's a believable number. Next, we're going to scroll down. Sometimes by looking at the Google Earth image, let's say it's a Christmas light quote that we're preparing for someone that's new, that we haven't helped yet. Sometimes by looking at Google Earth, we can input the number of solar panels. So if you're already looking at Google Earth and you can you can see that, they have 18 solar panels, put that here, but it's not assumed that you will. Next, we have Christmas lights, obviously. Xmas stands for Christmas, by the way. So Xmas, linear feet of Xmas lights, or linear feet of Christmas lights. You're going to obviously going to input that here. If we're preparing a quote for them for Christmas lights, you're going to need to input the number here. So let's say on the minimum, on a really tiny home that has just a simple gutter line, most homes are not going to require less than 50. So minimum, you should be putting 50, very likely. In extreme circumstances, less than that. But a normal amount is closer to 150. That might be closer to a maximum, high amount. So the average is typically closer to 100, but measure accurately and input whatever numerical value is accurate here. You're going to also know the number of stories, right? If you're looking and measuring and preparing the quote, it's going to be disclosed, or you can see in Google Earth that, it's a 1-story home or it's a 2-story home. So you're going to input whatever number of stories there are. Next, sometimes this is also going to be disclosed sometimes that, they have a rounded Spanish tile roof, or you can see that on Google Earth. So if we know that information, try to put that there. Sometimes the individual might be living in a 55 plus active living retirement community. So this is not always applicable. That's why it's not all filled in here. You're going to have to fill in the information that's filled in for sure, but the info that's not filled in, it's not always going to be disclosed. But let's say this person lives in a 55 plus active living retirement community. They disclose that, they live in Sun City, Lincoln. So you're going to put, Sun City, Lincoln Hills here. And they live in a Pine Hill home model. So you're going to input that, Sun City, Lincoln Hills, in the 55 plus active living retirement community. And you're going to input Pine Hill if they disclose that they live in one community and they have, a certain home model. You're going to input that info here. But that's not always going to be the case, which is why that's not filled out. Next, you're always going to input what service that we prepared the quote for. So this individual asked us about Christmas lights for this example. So whatever they ask us about, you're going to input that service here. So very likely this is going to be the title of the quote, or maybe they asked us to do multiple things, and you're going to list those things here in the marketing section. This is critical because this is where what determines, effectively it tags this customer as, oh, Christmas lights or gutter cleaning or window cleaning or solar panel cleaning. That's going to determine which customers receive certain marketing messages or information from us. So it's going to trigger us to send them an email or a phone call for Christmas lights or whatever it might be. So make sure every time you prepare a quote, put that information in the marketing section. Next, we have additional notes. So anything else that's applicable that is disclosed in the process of doing the quote. So, that they live in a rural community, or the front of their house is unlevel. We have to be really careful with safety. They have a very steep roof. Whatever is useful, try to input it here. This is kind of just a catch-all section for anything that can't go be noted anywhere else. So make sure to put additional notes if applicable. The last thing we have is if you're looking at Google Earth, you can verify certain features that you identify, right? So let's say they have a pool in the backyard. So we're going to check pool, because pool cleaning is maybe a service that we do in the future. If you're looking at the Google Earth image and, you can see that, they have a chimney, which is, if you see a chimney on the roof, that means they have a fireplace. And cleaning, chimney sweeping is something we might do over time. So these are physical characteristics that you can identify on Google Earth. So check them if applicable. If yes, if no, keep them unchecked. Cup hooks, this is not going to be visible on Google Earth, but sometimes the person might say, I already have cup hooks, or, I hired you guys last year or a prior year. And, if that's disclosed, you're going to put, that they have cup hooks. If it's positively identified that they have cup hooks, check that box. So those are additional kind of details to input. So this is a thorough walkthrough of what exact information that you need to collect every single time that we prepare a Christmas light quote.